Hola Madridistas, welcome back to another episode of Let's Be Real podcast. Um, well, I guess happy days again, at least, at least until this week is done. A much needed distraction from the atrocities that we have been facing in the league. To be honest, um, I was starting to lose faith. I must say I've lost like 70% faith. I mean, some people can actually throw stones at me. Some people already have for being a flake, you know. But it is just me stating my opinion. You can actually take it or leave it, to be honest, because I respond to what this team shows me. And tonight, I'm not gonna lie, we were tested. We were severely tested for large parts, but we came through. And yeah, man, in the end, it was an emphatic performance. Before we actually get into it, please welcome the esteemed panel, Yadu and Farouk. Guys, talk to me.
As a start, I guess. I mean, on paper, this should have been one of those games where we're just relaxing on the couch and just sitting back, drinking
Yeah.
tea, coffee, beverages of whatever sort you want to. And it really didn't go that way, did it? I mean, at the end, if you're just looking at the results, okay, yeah, hey, it's a 4-1 victory, haha, but there's a lot to unpack here. The things that went right, the things that went wrong, especially a couple of things that surprised me. I mean, a penalty that, a really soft penalty that shouldn't have been given, according to me, but then, yeah, Lukamoto is missing a penalty. I mean, when's the last time that has happened? Well, anyway,
Penalties are
it's
increasingly
yeah increasingly
becoming a weapon, right?
going against us, but anyway, I won't stick on it for a long time. I just passed over to Farouk because I want to run a couple of polls on the in the chat so the people there can say hi, yeah, let us know what their thoughts are. So yeah, go on, Farouk.
Yeah, I
Farouk,
mean, it's the same continuity, man. It's just garbage in, garbage out. It's a 4-1 victory, but I mean, I don't know if me defining a 4-1 victory as garbage would be being entitled or something like that. But that's just it, honestly. Like, I mean, I'm just thinking, like the point is if literally every single true ball, was almost like a chance for them, I'm thinking like, okay, then if you play against the likes of Haaland and Kylian Mbappe, and Napolis Osimhen and Cavara, what's he gonna look like, So yeah, I mean, it's just all of the same thing. And honestly,
did you
I
just
mean,
say Osimhen, Farouk?
exactly, man. I said Osimhen, man.
I like
I like it.
Osimhen. I mean, I like
I like
Osimhen,
it.
man.
I mean, that's the thing. Like Napoli are the form team of Europe right now, man. I mean, when you watch them play, man, like you literally get the heebie-jeebies, man. Like those guys are like really, really, really fast.
Yeah, I rate Osimhen, man. It's pretty good.
I mean, it's not just him. Like it's the system they built around him. With Cavara and the Politanos and so on and so forth. So it's a really good system there. But yeah, back to Real Madrid, like. But actually, for this game, I could actually give the team a pass because like this was a team that maybe into. I mean, you can play 1,000 games and you would never come up with such a starting 11. Honestly, like it was such a weird starting 11 as well. And you look to the bench and literally, other than Dani Ceballos, there was no one to bring on. There was literally no one. Like Asensio
was it actually that much of a surprise that we had a strong starting 11? I mean, if we know that, I mean, just based on stats, we won the Club World Cup 4 times, and usually we come in at the semis, we have a couple of young players starting, etc., etc. Was it that big of a surprise? I mean, at least to you guys, that we had such a, on paper, strong starting 11. We had veterans of the game playing for, I don't know, 70, 80 minutes.
There was no one else to play. This is the point. There was literally no one else to play. Literally no one. No one.
No, I'm talking youth players, maybe.
You could actually flip it the other way around. You could actually flip it the other way around in the sense that Kroos and Modric are now, in a way, part of the B team. They have slightly been relegated to the bench, at least in the past month. So this is like a rotationary option. Although on paper it looks like the strongest 11. That's what at least I think. But yeah, the fact that there's nobody else to actually make the cut is also a fair shout. But I look to Arribas, man.
One touch, one goal. Like, what the hell? mad.
To get to
That's
the goal, but like him actually being on the plane, being on the bench, I thought at least he would be getting 30 minutes, in a match where although we didn't look very comfortable after going 2-0 up, but for large parts we steamrolled Al Ahly, and
as we
games like
should,
that,
as we
yeah.
should. It should be easy. But I mean, all credits to Alali for playing the way they did. They were very disciplined, very quick on the counter, and very organized. At least they did lose their composure at the end, but they seemed very organized all the way up until 43 minutes, I want to say. Once the goals came in, it just kept going. But hey, fair play. You're facing Real Madrid, it happens. So
Al
yeah,
Ahly is also like one of the I think most storied clubs like in the world. Like I think they are the club with the most AFC Champions League titles. I may be wrong,
CAF
but
Champions League titles.
yeah, like they're pretty big. They're pretty big. Their goalkeeper, like I'll never forget him. The Egyptian national team goalkeeper. He's also like a veteran of sorts. So the team they put out like was meant to be exactly like how it panned out. Like what Yadu said, to be compact, to kind of be disciplined, and also be daring whenever offered the chance. Kamavinga had plenty to think about, especially with their right back bombing forward. I think he was the one who won the pen as well. Like he was a constant threat all throughout the night, and yeah, that incident would be like a learning experience for Kamavinga, who has been having, in all fairness, a smooth sailing
and it'll
cameo,
be,
yeah,
yeah.
for a bit. So this will be kind of a reality check for him. But yeah, man, let's get into the performances. Starting with Lunin. Well, people said that like he's getting increasingly frustrated about his role at the club. He might move on in the summer, but Thibaut picking up a warm up niggle at the weekend made sure that Lunin actually got his fair share of plaudits. He was very good at Mallorca. Couldn't do anything about the goal. Um, Tonight, I thought he was exceptional again. Had was never really tested much, but whenever called upon, he was pretty good. Thoughts on Lunin, Farouk?
Yeah, like I mean, as you said, honestly, like he didn't put any foot wrong, like he concedes from penalty, so it's just a 50-50 case. There's nothing that can be done there. So yeah, I mean, there is nothing to say. Just the thing is that my fear is this about the Lunin thing is that our team is so much reliant on the heroics of Thibaut Courtois that you know any above average keeper literally would fail in the team. It's not because you're a bad keeper or anything, it's just because of what Thibaut does week in, week out. Like, I mean, almost every game I have seen, there's always one world-class save. He's always outperforming the expected goals conceded, so I feel that, Superman, I mean, that superhero characteristics of Thibaut is one thing that I don't, at least I haven't seen yet. Okay, like Lunin hasn't been put in that situation yet, but I mean, I will still just hope that Thibaut is back ASAP. But yeah, Lunin has so far so good.
Fair. Let's move on to the defense quickly. Yeah, the one slight improvement that I anticipated, and we kind of overlook when Alaba plays, because he brings his own share of deficiencies when he starts. Um, is the fact that he is the calmest defender we have. I mean, that's a fact. Out of I think all the centre backs and wing backs, Alaba is the guy that is uh, coolness personified. The composure he has, you know, although it is down to his immense experience, playing at such a high level for like ever since his early 20s. Alaba is a seasoned veteran at this point, and when he comes back, you see how much more in sync our defenses. Although we still conceded a few iffy aerial balls that shouldn't have been the case. Like there was that chance, I think, in the first half where that one guy leapt in between Alaba and Rudiger, and them both were like rooted to the spot. They didn't know what to do. Alaba could only like nudge him. But that aside, Yadu, having Alaba back, how much of a boost is it gonna be for the rest of the season?
Oh, for the rest of the season, absolutely fantastic. For two reasons. One, the first thing that you said, which is about experience. I mean, I attest to the fact that's there's no complaints there. But the other thing I'm excited about is also moving the ball forward, which has consistently been, let's say, not happening as much recently, and it also allows let's just put it this way: there allows a connection between the back four or what most of the times the back two to go into attack. I mean, today the game was mostly played in the other half, which was actually quite nice to see. But fun fact, Araba's the lowest rated player in our team today, which speaks to some of the defensive deficiencies that he had. But it's more or less aerial balls and attackers that didn't go exactly. He also
What is this
lost the
score based
ball.
on? Is it like sofa score or something?
It is. So it's on SofaScore, yeah. So SofaScore has a Alaba at 6.8, which is the lowest. Everybody else is 7 or higher. But yeah, it's also the case that there were a couple of passes that didn't go anywhere that got intercepted quite easily, which is always a problem when you're playing out from the back. Which happened once. Which happened to nearly lead to a goal. So when Alaba passed it back to Lunin, and it was intercepted by Ahly, and then Lunin had to make a double save to kind of prevent
I don't
anything from
remember the
happening.
instance, but
It's
yeah, like
around, I think it's around like the 65th minute. Alaba had a bad pass, and then it's around the 65th minute. So I think that is what crashed us rating a little bit, because SofaScore is usually done by the viewers of the game. I mean, they do the ratings, and this is mass appeal. But yeah, more than that, I mean, it's a one-off event. These things kind of never happen with Alaba. But for the rest of the season, I'm really excited to have him back, especially because with
yeah,
especially with Militao still injured,
yeah.
kind of nice.
Militao and Benzema is apparently coming to Morocco tomorrow. That's what Ancelotti said in the post match. So, unlike what we feared, Militao's injury seems to be far better than first anticipated. So that's good news. That's good news. I hope he isn't pushed straight away into action, but I can totally see Carlo doing just that come Saturday night. But yeah, man, Alaba, like you said, like I said, like you said, he is a welcome addition, but you can expect his deficiencies when he's on the pitch, but he brings so much more dynamism to our attack. I mean, to our defense, which I can't look past. But Farouk, Rudiger, I've I've been so tired with Rudiger, especially the past couple of weeks. After the Mallorca game, I was like, I'm done with this guy. But come on, man, talk to me about Rudiger tonight.
I mean, I personally I've always been a proponent of so I've always felt he needed that person to marshal, to lead him in the defense and what is not. And I actually feel like today was one of the better performances, I've seen from him compared to what's happened, in the previous weeks, which literally are nothing to write home about. And it's just, I mean, the bar is so low right now that, anything is something. Honestly, that's why, for me, this game wouldn't be the game where I would say, oh yeah, okay, this is a good performance from this guy or from that guy, or because as I said, at the beginning, is that every single, what's it called, almost every true ball, from Ahly was almost like a chance. Obviously, I know okay, this is one of the teams, this is one of the best teams in the whole continent of Africa. I agree with that, they're not pushovers and what is not. But we need to find a way to, close those gaps, close those spaces. but then also like the combination of the defense also plays a role in there. It's Camavinga on one side, it's Nacho on the other side. So these are not natural fullbacks as well. So these also in its own plays a role in the dynamics of this back four as well. So yeah, I mean, I'm still waiting, for that eventual
And
explosion.
and and we should also actually account the fact that Rudiger hasn't played in a backline that is constant, that is
Exactly.
full of confidence, that has been played into rhythm week in week out. Like sometimes he has played on the left of the defense, sometimes on the right. So it hasn't been easy for Rudiger. I'll say that much. But uh, a player of his caliber, a player of his magnitude, we expect so much more, so much more. Ashik is in the chat. He says, "Man, that was rude silence before talking about Rudiger." He also says, "Shout out to our girls as well. They won today, and Caroline was sweet again." Caroline Weir has been nothing sort of sensational. Every time
Sweet Caroline. Oh,
I
oh,
watch,
oh, it's been amazing. It's been amazing.
every
Good
time I
vibes
watch
all around.
Feminino, Caroline Weir. When you factor in, like, I haven't seen the Clásico. Obviously, the Barcelona players are forces to be reckoned with. But whenever you watch a Feminino game and there's like 22 female players, Caroline Weir just looks a different breed. She just looks nothing like the rest. Like she's one of a kind. Truly special player. I'm really glad that like she's finally actually getting the plaudits. But yeah, man, back to Rudiger. I hope this does some favors to his confidence because he'll be needed. Like I constantly repeat on previews and post matches over here. Our squad is thin. You know, thinner compared to last year. I mean, and that is a worry. In a year
See, that,
where
that that's where I agree with Farooq. The bar is so low that even this is we take it. We take it. If I can see
yeah,
this partnership just continuing without injury, without any brain farts, which kind of tends to happen around this time of the year.
this partnership won't continue, because Militao and Alaba, in my
If
opinion,
it
is the
far
best
better,
centre back
far
pairing.
better, far better, absolutely. But whenever there is an issue with our backline and we're forced to go into something of a makeshift, it usually we end up with this. We've been seeing this Alaba Rudiger thing for some time now, and if
It's
they
better than
can,
Militao, Rudiger.
it is. Oh,
That
absolutely,
I
yeah.
mean that is what
It's the Alaba
that
presence,
is
probably.
sub.
Yeah, yeah. It's the Alaba presence.
Yeah.
But yeah, if this can be cemented into something of a mind reading thing, then it's absolutely fantastic.
Mm. Also, before we go ahead, if you guys haven't subscribed, the people in the chat, don't forget to smash the subscribe button and also smash the like button. It goes a long way, in helping us. Much appreciated. It doesn't cost a thing. But yeah, moving on to our wingbacks, man. Kamavinga, Yadu. Kamavinga has been very, very handy, especially with the knock that Mendy picked up a couple of weeks ago. Kamavinga has been very, very steady. I think even for large parts tonight, like whenever he was tested, whenever he was asked to step in, Kamavinga you know, uh, looked like a very seasoned wingback. Like I'm pretty sure that like most of us over here were surprised by how uh, easily Kamavinga has taken this role. Like a duck to water. It has been pretty flawless. But do you think that that penalty is going to be a blemish, or do you think it is a learning process
Oh, it's
in his
definitely a learning process. I mean, he's not a natural left back, as you just said.
yeah.
He's a makeshift left back, which the French team showed us actually how to properly mold him into what it is. Today is maybe one of his bigger tests so far, and he's come out more or less with a 7.5 out of 10 for me, I'd say. Are there errors? Yes, like the penalty, which could have been avoided. But there's a lot of promise, and him getting a starting role as a left back should probably be better than him coming on at 60th minute as a centre mid. But that's just my thoughts.
Really, you think that he should start if I
If
think that
in
is
the
what
in
is
the
going
in
to
the
be.
absence of Mendy, yeah, probably. As long as
In the
Mendy isn't
absence of
there.
Mendy. So if
In the
Mendy is
absence of
back,
Mendy.
Mendy is straight back in.
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
But that's just because we need the Mendy experience going ahead with the UCL. Um, Camavinga's too much of a loose cannon. There's a lot to be covered. At least I felt that there's a lot to be covered. Today it was pretty much okay because it was on the counters where we had people to rush back. But when we will play in a match with a lot more pressure, when the match is being played in our half instead of theirs, having an attack-minded fullback who also can fall back even more would be preferred over an inexperienced makeshift left back, if that makes sense.
Like, when you see, I mean, the penalty is going to be scrutinized, obviously, because it resulted in a goal. But you see Kamavinga doing that far too often, right, Farouk? Uh, that extended foot, or him trying to nick the ball constantly, when there is no chance of nicking it. It is just down to age, surely, right, Farouk?
Nah, I don't necessarily think so. I think this is just, the hallmark of this kind of play. This is just what they do.
You just fell straight into the bait, but
I
thank you,
mean,
Farouk.
it's not about age. That's the kind of player he is. Like, he's a combative tackler. Like, that's the person he is. So you can't take
Yeah.
that aggression is all part of what we love. That
There's
aggression.
also the thing that you can get away with it in the center when you're playing CM, that you can't get away when you're playing the same thing in defense.
Exactly.
If you make the same error, there's more to lose when you're in the
I mean,
defense.
we've been here complaining every time, like, Kamavinga gets a yellow card always. Why? Because he, tends to, go into these tackles and what is and what is not. So that's the thing. I mean, this is something that's waiting. It's a bomb waiting to explode, man. It's gonna happen sometime. So that's why, like, obviously, I think his future doesn't lie there, and hopefully, like, the experiment is ended as soon as possible. But yeah, man, I mean, I don't think it's about the age of Kamavinga. I just think that's the person he is. Like, he's just a tackler. He's just gonna get better with time. But I mean, these tackles are just gonna be there always, constantly. And as Yedu said, like, that's the thing. Like, they're gonna be fouls. That's part of his game. But the point is, in the midfield, it's just in the center of the circle. Like, it has no threat to anyone. But when you're a fullback, then penalties happen, obviously.
Mm. Yeah. Although I agree with most things that Farouk said, that he is a combative, player that like likes to get his boots dirty. I'm a huge fan of that aspect as well. That Kamavinga doesn't shy away from a challenge. That's what makes him great. Like if you look all throughout history, the greatest players always tends to be nasty, and they tend to be nasty for a reason. They tend to give more than what their talent actually speaks for itself. So yeah, all these blemishes, I'm pretty sure Kamavinga is gonna come good. This is definitely a trial by fire for him, especially him trying to stake a claim in the starting 11. This phase is gonna help his experience section, so much going forward. But the other wingback, our captain tonight, Nacho Fernandez, Farouk, um, solid, dependable as always.
Exactly. That's it, man. Like, there is not a lot to say. Like, there was nothing spectacular in my opinion, with
Mm.
Nacho, and he just did the solid 6.5, 6. So it's just a bit above average performance from him. But yeah, I mean, he just fills the hole wherever it needs filling, and there is nothing
Yeah.
else to say.
I'll go as far as to say that Nacho add the versatility into the mix. I'll say he's only behind, I guess, Militao and Alaba in this team. As far as center backs goes, because he's miles. I repeat, miles ahead of Rudiger in the pecking order. He should be. If he is not, then there's clearly some politics involved moving forward. But that's just my opinion.
Fitness. No, fitness issues. Match fitness, 90 minutes issues have been holding him back. plus Rudiger's arrival, aerial threat that's provided by Rudiger. We've been scoring a couple of goals through Rudiger. Nacho doesn't have the
He
athleticism
scored
to
one goal
compete.
all season, the equalizer against Leipzig.
Three so far. Or
Rudiger, really?
am I thinking of last season as well? He's scored 3 goals so far. Always a threat in the box, which
Rudiger
Nacho
wasn't here
can't
last
provide.
season. Yeah, so you need to
Fuck me. Oh
you need to
no.
sober up, bro.
So that's no. I've seen 3 goals. Might be
One
wrong,
was
but
ruled off. I think
oh, was
the other week.
it?
Yeah.
Okay.
The game before Mallorca. I can't even fucking remember the game at this point. But the
There's been
match.
so many games so far, and so many of the same balls inside the box. I might be confusing my stats, but I seem
Yeah.
to remember there being 3 goals attempts. I don't even know at this point. But yeah, he's more of a threat in the box for our corners, for our set pieces.
He's
We've
on
been
paper more of a threat, but
we've been
I need some.
complaining about our set pieces,
Yeah.
and whenever I complain about set pieces, the next game he scores, and I know that happened a couple of times now, so maybe two
I
goals.
think you're talking about Militao, man, not Rudiger, man. I think he's talking about Militao.
Yeah, probably.
That's on me. That's on me.
But Nacho, moving back to Nacho, I think, like he has elevated his performance levels and dependability on last season. Last season, when he stepped in for crucial Champions League games towards the end and La Liga games as well towards the end, people were kind of surprised. Nacho still got it, but I think this season, nobody will be surprised. If he starts one of the big games in the Champions League. I hope that is really the case because man, this guy leaves everything on the pitch, and he's such a leader. Nacho, yeah, man, always got time for Nacho with us. But moving on to the midfield, Luka Modric. Uncharacteristically, like he has been off color ever since the post World Cup fatigue got to him. He hasn't been himself. But is tonight something of a vote of confidence from Carlo? And do you think that he is gonna actually gain a much needed boost from this performance tonight? Yeah.
That's a hard question because with Luka Modric, it's never that straightforward, is it? Even if he's having an off day, he still does a lot of things right. And those part of the game just doesn't go, doesn't get the recognition that it needs. There were a lot of chances that he created that should have been goals, that should have gone in, that should have been assists to him. And if those chances had been converted, we wouldn't be having this conversation. We wouldn't be saying, "Is Luka Modric off color?" Luka Modric has high standards, and but he's always ready to put in a shift. He's doing the things right. The moment it converts into assists and goals, I mean, yeah, there's the final piece missing. But is it a bad performance? I don't think so. I really don't think so. It's not his best performance according to the standards that he has set for himself for the past 2-3 seasons. Probably not. But it's an average night for Luka, nothing too spectacular. So I would say for me it was like a 6.5. Just personally.
Yeah. I would say, yeah, I would kind of echo your sentiment as well, but I would say that it is in a way a slight step up from the past couple of weeks. I'll say
That's
that
been depressing. Yeah, the past couple of weeks have been, kind of low
past couple of
points.
weeks I've seen some shit that I can't fathom watching because Luka Modric misplacing 5-yard passes has been kind of a theme this season. I don't know how or why that happens. We all remember beginning of the season. He was Mr. Standing Ovation. Back to back to back from rival fans.
3 matches or 4 matches in a row.
Yeah,
Away fans.
but we tend to forget that he's 37. He is in the twilight of his career, so he'll need plenty of rest even now. So if I was the manager and Luka Modric was an asset that was given to me, I wouldn't be starting him in a game like this. But that's just me. But Carlo and the hierarchy in our club thinks otherwise. But I hope this kind of helps him get back into rhythm. And Luka Modric, even though people lament that he needs rest, I truly believe a player like him, who's basically like a guy who controls the tempo, like just like Cruz. These guys needs to be out on the pitch week after week to actually um, you know get into the rhythm.
I
But
actually have a counterpoint to that today.
yeah,
Because the reason that we went into this game with Cruz and Modric on the pitch, I think the plan is to just feel the other team out, see what their tactics are. Because Al Ali, they've been playing Club World Cup continuously, and we're going into this on a one-off match. We want to check out their tactic and counter it with the best kind of experience that we have, which is controlling the midfield. And that kind of worked. We saw that it's up until first half, end of first half. The kind of play that Al Ali were playing, people in the subreddit were saying Al Ali are balling, which kind of goes to show you, they came with a plan, and we had to get our midfield maestros out there to just feel it out, see what we're working with, and then change our game accordingly. So probably, I feel like that's why the coaching team had this lineup with such a strong midfield. So but yeah, that's just my understanding of what happened.
could be. I can't really deny that might have been a thinking in their minds. But moving on to Tony Cruz, Farouk, the guy seems to be the better, between Luka Modric and Tony Cruz, at this moment in time. Tony Cruz looks so much more sharper. Do you agree?
Definitely. And I mean, Heather, like, what were you expecting, man? I mean, Modric is 37, and I choose to refuse to accept your fact when you say, like, Modric and Cruz are similar in the sense that, like, they're tempo setters. Fine, they're both tempo setters. But I mean, one thing that separates Cruz from Modric is the dynamism that Modric brings to the team.
Yeah.
Modric runs end to end for 90 straight minutes. That's the only thing he knows how to do. He's the kind of, like, I mean, Tony Cruz is someone who can just stand and dictate the flow of the game from one point in the game. Like that's how how he operates. Well, for Luka, like it's someone who runs up and down. And let's not forget, like Luka played 7 games in Qatar, came back to Madrid, and some people in Spain decided, oh, we're gonna go to Saudi Arabia and play some shitty games. He went there again, and then we have to go to Morocco to play again, and then he went there again. So I mean, even Sunaid, man, as well, just traveling to India, if I go to Nigeria, I take one day to just, regain some energy.
I know.
No, that's me, man. And I'm 25 years old, man. The man is 37 years old. He's running 90 minutes, end to end. So, I mean, I don't know what they're expecting. Honestly, I'm waiting, like,
Well, Farouk, if you're going to travel now, I'm pretty sure that your cornrow is going to, make you feel much more relaxed, So, just saying.
For our audio listeners out there, Farouk is sporting gangster cornrows, and it looks amazing. And if you want to see it, you should come to our YouTube channel and subscribe. So yeah, there you go.
I will. Okay, that's a shameless way to ask for subs. Yeah, you gotta have some morality to it.
I mean, man, beggars.
No, we're on the road to 1,000 subs, and I don't care how it comes along. So please
Exactly,
subscribe.
man. That's the point, man. The point is to get to the destination, man, not the journey itself, man. We just reach a destination. How we get there is
Yeah, the
just
cornrow is absolutely fab, man. Like
Phenomenal.
Because you guys remember the first time I saw it, I was like, "Fuck, man, this is a fancy new filter. I need to get on board." But Farouk has his barbers sorted. I think it is HD cuts in Turkey as well. Yeah, all the way from London.
we're not gonna reveal our secrets on live TV, man. Like,
Fair enough. Yeah, man. Cruz for me, like you said, he plays a much different role to Modric, setting the tempo in different ways. But he looks sharper, at least for me. He looks a bit more involved, I think.
I I mean,
But
actually,
yeah.
I do get the point you're making, which is very valid. I totally agree with that. And Tony Kroos retiring from Germany actually it was a blessing in disguise for us, honestly. Well, I
Mm.
just don't feel like that relationship he has with Luka Modric is something that's so valuable. Like it was, even in the I mean the goal that Fede scored, like it was a pass from Luka Modric that no one in the team can pick out. You know, the pass to Rodrigo and which was saved from the goalkeeper. Like it was a pass that no one can pick out. And even when we go back, to the best performances we've had across the years, it's the game where Luka Modric and Toni Kroos actually are doing their thing. You know, honestly, that like I can get people are always going to be excited by the possibilities of what Kamavinga brings off the bench. The introduction of the quick feet of Dani Ceballos and all these silky moves and deft touches and what
Yeah.
is Tchouaméni on lack thereof. I mean, Cruz and Modric, what they bring is on a whole different level. It's a whole different ballgame, honestly. And I know right now, like they're not at the optimal best. Honestly, like I really can get
But,
why.
but the real question is, Farouk, you remember, like, similar to this season,
Mhm.
rewind it to kind of February of last year, March of last year, we were having our doubts, but we were somehow scraping it past, major opposition. And these two guys were having starring roles. Do you think that, they'll shut us up again?
Definitely. If you could recall, I told you, like, I mean, the point is this, like, as I've said, like, I don't think Carlo is a person to lead the new generation of this team. I've said that. But I've also given him his flowers that, okay, I know it's going to take a miracle to win La Liga. And, like, the point is, miracles don't happen anymore. But in the Champions League, I'm very confident. Like, I mean, this is what he does. Like, Real Madrid and Carlo Ancelotti, like, they're literally a match made in heaven. Like, there is no coach out there that defines Real Madrid more than Carlo Ancelotti.
Fuck. Yeah, that's
There isn't.
very nice to hear. Very
Goosebumps,
nice to
man.
hear. Because,
But like, do
Goosebumps,
I think
man.
he's the coach to lead the
people
team?
in the chat,
Definitely no.
you guys need to go and rewatch the Champions League final post match, and look at Farouk, you know, because you'll be happy to hear him say this now.
What I'm saying to you, I'm saying this as well, like right now, that he is a match made in heaven for Real Madrid. But do I think he's the coach to lead? Personally, no, I do not.
Mm.
That's the thing, you understand. But I also have to, like obviously, like I'm not a blind man. I'm seeing what's happening there. You understand. So like, if we go on and eventually, would we win the Champions League? Maybe not. But I'm still confident of having a deep run in the Champions League as well, because this is what these guys do. Like I mean, these guys wake up and the Champions League anthem brings a different kind of personality out of them. So it's like kind of an entitlement at this point in time. So
Mm.
honestly, like although we're having bad days right now, I do think like this Carlo, Luca, Tony, these guys are gonna like turn the heat up when it matters the most, and we will get something. They will shut us. They will shut us up. Like I mean, I have no doubt about that.
Fair enough. I really hope, these guys complement each other. They know each other's thing, when those two guys are firing, even a toothless attack can look menacing.
Exactly.
That has happened so many times across their illustrious careers. It only goes to show that even they are human. When they have poor games. Obviously, after a bad game, us coming on a post match, we are not gonna wax lyrical about them. Even though they are irreplaceable. Basically, like. They are the best midfielders that we have watched in our generation, like hands down. But yeah, man, I hope this is a building stone for both of them. But Chouameni, um, personally, I think he is what you basically see on the tin, right? Like you get the thing that's on the tin. Um, Solidity, much needed defensive cover, that instinct to know how to break up an attack, where to move to actually break up an attack. In that sense, Chouameni is a welcome addition any day because we lack that sixth role in the team, and Cruz being deployed there is a fucking madness. But Chouameni, Yadu, I'll say it was an average performance. He had a good shot, I think, in the first half, which was parried away. But yeah, man, your thoughts on Chouameni and how do you think he is going to help us moving forward?
Quiet game from him, all things considered. But who else would you put in the DM role? That's the whole question, right? I want to give
Yeah.
him some rest, get him back into pace for La Liga, give us more of a fighting chance there. Let him get some rest, get some fresh legs for the Liverpool match coming
Fighting chance for
up.
what? Fighting chance for finishing second or what?
No, we're winning. We're winning.
I
There's no
mean,
way. There's
the
no
point is,
way.
the thing is, this, like, okay, I get, like, okay, we are fans and all that, but I mean, one thing everyone who has watched La Liga for the past 10 years can agree is that Barcelona can be 100 points behind, and they will find a way to get 101 points. That's
Yeah.
just
Realistically,
that's
no,
the
no,
only
no, 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 no,
I
no.
cannot deny this.
Here's the
Beat
thing. Here's the
Valverde,
thing, Farouk.
beat Enrique, beat Pep, beat right now with Xavi as well. It's just a Barcelona thing.
My teenage was made up of giving up La Liga and winning the Champions League. I've grown up and nothing's changed. I want that to change. I want some La Ligas. I want 35, 36, 37, 38 all to happen before I'm 30. Close to happening. But anyway, I need the La Ligas. So
I mean,
I'm not
the
giving
thing is
up
this.
hope. There's no way. I
We're
still
a,
believe
we're,
in
a,
the
we're,
team.
we're a team that's built on moments, That's why, like, Cristiano was like that ideal Real Madrid player. Like, he was a guy for the moment. When you need someone to show up, Cristiano would always be there. That's why he was the Real Madrid guy. That's why, like, at least for me, like, in my opinion, he was, the player that I would choose for one single game. One of the, I would say, at least for me, like, he was the greatest one. Above others. There's no need to name names, but that was the thing, that moment's person. But the point is now, when you play 38 games a season, you need to get points for 38 games, not just for this one semi-final leg or just one final leg. This
Yeah.
is the thing. And that's been our culture, at least since I started watching what is that. We've always just been a single game person, a single game team.
Yeah, I
And because
think
of
I
that, I think
think
even
that's
right
what.
now, what we're discussing about the midfielders is also the same thing, like they will show up when it matters the most. But in a league, you need to matter the most for 38 games, not just for 1, 2, 3 games. So this is the thing.
I mean, that's what Vinay said about the Barca team. They are a win churning machine, which under Zidane, in Zidane's final season, that's what we were. We went up 1-0 and then we just held on, you know,
Exactly.
as in the seat for 90 plus 5 minutes. And it just happened.
I
But
think
then
I would.
again, then again,
Yeah.
it's too early to give up right now because there's
One thing I
so
would
much to
like
happen.
to, yeah, like one thing I would like to add to what Farooq said and what Yadu was just saying. Like from the outside looking in, and for us, large faction of supporters, when we look at the way how the club actually deal with stuff, it is obviously a very distinct bias towards the big years. The Champions League is what we really really crave deep inside. But if you actually look at the La Liga over the course of the last 10, 13 years, I can only confidently sit here and say that there were only 2 years where we were actually deserving. Deserving is a strong word. Only there were only 2 seasons where I thought when we won La Liga, where we clearly was the superior team, and one was 2011-12, which was sorry 12-13, which was sorry 11-12. My bad. Golden kid Mourinho era, hands down, was something else because Pep was trying to go the three-peat to the three-peat in the league, and our team was just unplayable. And then the duodecima season, that was insane. I don't think last year or the 2019 season when we won La Liga, we were really good. I honestly think those years were Barca lacking.
Yeah, last year was a freebie, especially. It's
Yeah.
just
But when it's happening, obviously you're not gonna say it is a freebie because we are on the fucking moment. Like when we are crowned champions, we are champions. Period. But when you actually look back and retrospect, this is what I think. But yeah, man. Chouameni, Farouk, anything to add?
Nothing, man. I mean, that's the thing. Like, Chouameni, I was also just, I think he just returned from some injuries as well. So there's also that as also.
First
For
game
that,
back. Yeah.
the team right now is just a
Second
fair.
back and starting level.
As we've discussed a lot of times, like we don't have any DM other than Chouameni, honestly. Playing, either Camavinga or especially Toni Kroos as a lone six, in my opinion, I don't know why it happens, but it's a recipe for disaster, honestly.
It's
So
a
Because
it's a
I,
pace thing,
I
isn't it? At least that's what I feel. It's a pace thing. When we switch between Chomeni and Cruz, that it's just the progression isn't there, the
I'm
fallback
pretty
isn't there.
sure the data analysts in the team, they see that. Carlos sees it. Carlos' son sees it. Everybody
What
with a
options do we have?
yeah, that's the thing. It's not only about options, because if we really want to go the options route, there is plenty of people who can actually do the DM role, even in the academy. But that is a different conversation. But all I am saying is that um, Kamavinga would have been approached for the DM role. Yeah, Alaba would have been pitched for the DM role sometime surely. Um, but I don't think anybody, when they actually deployed and tried it, would have given the coaching staff enough confidence to actually use someone else than Cruz. And Cruz himself would have said that he feels okay doing it, whereas someone like Kamavinga would have said, "Mister, I don't think um, playing such a vital role as a sitting six would be best for me. It hinders what he brings to the table as well." And Alaba, people used to fantasize about him being a CDM. He used to play CDM sometimes at Bayern as well. But
CM.
CDM, has he played CM?
He's
In
played
my memory, it
CM.
was CDM
he
No,
plays CM
CM.
for Austria, actually. He plays a
for Austria.
national team. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, right. Either way, but I've increasingly read stuff that he prefers centre back as the position moving forward. So yeah, man, I think that's what drives Cruz being there, because our coaching staff just doesn't fancy anybody else in that role. But
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, man, yeah.
from that, you asked the question about Chouameni. Let's not, let's also give him a bit of his flowers. Like, I mean, he wasn't, he was a bit here and there after the World Cup as well. But I mean, he's getting back in his groove as well. Considering also the injuries and all that. So, I mean, the other time, like Vishal was
Also
saying, like,
say something. I'll also say something that is concerning
yeah,
with the DM position. It is the fact that yes, Chouameni is the undisputed CDM. The fact that there is no clear competition for a spot is tend to make him feel comfortable, and that's a fact. We
that's
have seen that with Casemiro as well. When Chouameni was coming in, we thought he and Casemiro would fight it out. It is always ideal for two world class DMs to be in the squad, because a world class DM adds so many facets to the team. They can shift into a centre back when needed. So things like that, man. Like
see,
I hope,
this is
yeah.
the point why I always like don't understand why you guys obsess over like 150 million pounds Jude Bellingham. The point is this, Sunil. See, but the thing is this. In my opinion, I feel this. We don't have a sub DM. We don't have a left back. We don't have a right back, and we're gonna go and spend 150 million on a central midfielder
Well,
when
it
we
looks like
have Kamavinga. We're gonna give Ceballos a new 4-year deal. We have Fede Valverde, and what's gonna most likely Cruz and Modric are gonna stay ahead. I get that this guy is a generational talent, fine and good, but Fede Valverde also is a generational talent. Let's not forget this. Kamavinga is a generational talent. Chouameni also is a generational talent.
If you want to play at Real Madrid, that's kind of the basic, requirement that you
That's the
need
thing.
to
The
be
point
that
is this,
low.
that we have a lot of gaps in the team that we need to fill ASAP before we even think. I mean, we need an attacker, we need a winger even before we think of a midfielder. But the
I
point is,
haven't seen I haven't seen enough of Mario Martin, but surely he is being called up for a reason, and he is a CDM by trade.
okay,
So
so the point is this: when was the last time someone actually broke into the team other than Fede Valverde? We can name names: Martin Odegaard, Ashraf Hakimi, what's he called? Even the left back from Sports, I think Reguilon. Even we have what's he called? I mean, even fucking Fresneda was at our team and he left, and he's just even 18 years old.
yeah,
That's
it is
actually
it is a
such a
rarity.
fair point.
It's
That's
not
It
like
is a
actually
rarity. I'll tell you that, but you never know what the future holds. I'm just saying all these are like very valid points. Like I'm not gonna side with the fucking board and say that like this is the way that we should be looking at targets and chasing Bellingham which is the golden goose and stuff like that. I've been a huge advocate of Bellingham, but like to just calm you down, I'm gonna say that he's closer to Liverpool at this point. You know that as well. So
Fucking rumors, man.
he
We
needed.
started, everyone was like, yeah, Mbappe is closer to Real Madrid than anything else, and he eventually stayed. Like, I mean, there is no such thing as
As of this point, it can change. This is the very dynamic situation, right?
that, man. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, Todd Bowley is there doing his thing, man. The man could just decide he wants to get into that as well. 150 million is nothing for that man. He's just gonna
London Cowboys cooking.
exactly.
Chelsea is gonna get sanctioned soon, bro. So let them enjoy while it lasts.
Let them cook. Let them cook. It is
Chouameni,
what it is.
Chouameni needs some competition, but that's for next season. But I just hope the man stays fit. He is the backbone of our midfield. He is the guy who facilitates our team to express itself. So yeah, man. I hope he manages to. These are the guys we need to wrap in bubble wrap. Just like what we did last season with Vinicius and Benzema, we took extra measures to actually preserve them. But moving on to the attacks, let's start with Fede Valverde, a man who hasn't been in the finest of form, has been dealing with some personal issues, which at the time when it was hinted, I said it must be something genuinely grave, which turned out to be a grave problem that he's facing. And he's rightfully feeling all the weight of the world on his shoulders. It's only fitting that he got a nice little break. Like it wasn't a perfect goal by any means, but the way he actually kind of rolled one of the defenders and then shot completely surprised both the keeper, and the trailing defenders. Was nice to see. Fede was really good tonight. I'm gonna say a constant threat down the right. Always tried to force the issue. Was a live wire. Yadu, your thoughts on El Halcon?
Definitely a confidence booster game. Definitely impressed by what I saw from Fede. The goal actually gives him a lot more, confidence in his output, which has been kind of missing. All the forward runs, all the pace backs, he's been contributing more. I saw more of the Fede before the World Cup today than I have in any of the matches so far. Maybe it's just because he had it a little bit easy in the second half that you saw those flashes of brilliance, that you expect from him. And yeah, very impressed with what I saw from Fede. The goal very well deserved, as he just said. That's pretty much all I have to say, I guess. Because yeah, man, Fede back
That's
to
a step in the right direction. Like we can't write home about anybody tonight because tonight was a low stakes game. Obviously, losing it would have been horrible. But it was a low stakes game. Like we can't really.
No, it's one of those games that you used to maybe I feel I feel uncomfortable saying this that you used to stat pad. Um, it's a confidence booster at
You
least.
used to stat pad in the three-peat era when you have BBC up front, not Vini, Rodrigo, and Fede. I'm just saying that you can't really go into a game like this with our team in the current format that it is in. Expecting to stat pad. This is not the occasion. But before
I argue it is, but anyway.
Ashik in the comments says, my second adopted son, Fede, needs 3 more goals, otherwise Don Carlito will retire. I thought it was only 1 goal. Is he on 9 already for the season? I think he's on 9. I might be wrong, but the last time I checked, he was on 8 and he scored 1. So I think it's just 1 goal. Ashik, correct me if I'm wrong. Might be wrong. He also says, it is the price of playing for a winning culture. You are expected to win from the time you even look at that crest. Facts, yes. This camiseta, it brings so much more expectation than any other shirt. That's for everyone to see. I don't think anybody questions that. But yeah, man. Anything to add on Fede, Farouk?
Last thing before you get to Farouk. Fede has 6 goals. 6 goals in La Liga. So that's one today. That's 7. I'm not
That's seven, yeah.
sure. I'm not sure how if he has any in our
He has
UCL
two in
campaign
the,
so far.
he has two in the Champions League.
So there you go. So he's one away now.
One away, right?
Yeah,
Good to know.
lovely.
Good to know.
Okay, now move on to Farouk. Yes, Farouk, please.
Carlo will be happy that he's on 9 in February.
I mean, he should get that 15 goals easily. Like, I mean, because as Sunil rightly pointed out, like it's not easy. What he's been through. In his personal life. Like, these people are human beings. Eventually, like we should always respect that. Human aspect of it. So it's not been easy what he's been through, but rightly, like I think today was one of the best performances since the World Cup. I mean, not even since the World Cup. I think since October actually. I think it was one of the best performances since October actually. So yeah, credit where it's due. I hope because I really think like Fede is a really really key member of the team. I don't know, maybe because I just like him and rate him so highly, but I really do feel like he's a really 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 key member of the team. So I felt like his drop in form was one of the main reasons why we also became shambolic as well. But I hope with because what goals are like. Goals are just confidence boosters and all that. So he needed that break. So hopefully that becomes something that also leads to better performances. And hopefully I hope like. But then again, it's gonna go back to me complaining again. Like, we don't have the right winger. Like, I want that experiment to stop. Honestly, like, let's play him as a midfielder and let him develop, because the man is no longer like, he's not like Kamavinga who is 19, 20. He's 24, 25. So like he needs to start.
See, I'll be honest, Farooq. See, I really want to talk about this. Yeah. So me watching him, I just can't really figure out what's his best position. And I think he's falling into a trajectory of many famous names that we know for a fact are good, but can't nail down a perfect position for themselves. I think Fede is being pushed down that wormhole. Like, do you share the sentiment, Farooq, regarding?
Definitely, I do share that as well. That's actually why I said like I really hope it ends one day way or another. But the point
Because
is,
when I see him in midfield in some games, I think, oh, well, he's much more suited out wide.
exactly.
But then I see him out wide, and due to how the match kind of unfolds, he needs to tuck in and provide defensive cover to our wingback. So I really don't know at this point.
Actually, Sunil, I personally think it's about continuity. Honestly, I feel like the lack of him playing here today and playing there tomorrow, playing here today and playing there tomorrow, kind of leads to a bit of confusion in the way he plays as well. I don't know if that makes sense. So like although he's playing, let's say for example, as the right midfielder, because it's still the same wing. He's still playing as right midfielder. So like sometimes he kind of misses the memo and like tries to drift out wide to being the winger, and sometimes when he's playing as a winger, tries to drop back and drop into the midfield and what is not. So there is that there. I just feel like a bit of continuity on a certain position will lead to more consistency in his performance. I tend to believe, at least I want to believe so. So without seeing that, honestly, I can't really give an exact opinion on that. But as you said, like we've seen lots of talented players just get lost in this jack of all trades.
I kind of disagree there. I want to disagree because it's I think with the current setup, at least, it's more about providing cover to let's say Carvajal going up front, who can't get back in time, probably usually most of the time. And you have to rely on a Fede Valverde or a Fede Valverde-esque player to cover that.
Can I ask a question? How many assists do Carvajal have this season, or how many goals does he have?
Carvajal has been part of historically, has been part of amazing goals, amazing assists.
What is the
we keep waiting for it to happen, and there are runs that we think will convert to goals of that type.
Carvajal will come good again, Faru. This guy, he has a knack for turning up.
I've said this time and time again.
Even with
his day, he's the best. On his day, he's the best right back. On his day. But the point is, if that day is 3 times in a season, then I mean, okay, against Luis Diaz, that was one of the best days. It should be one of those days. But I mean,
here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? Even today with Nacho, whenever Nacho had a chance to go up front, it converted into, I think we had 2 throw-ins directly because of Nacho. And in these kind of situations where you have your right back going up front, you always see that Fede Valverde is dropping in to provide cover. Or in today's case, whenever there's a quick counter, Fede Valverde is probably the first player back, running back, probably the first player to go get the tackle. And even if you think about a last ditch tackle, Fede Valverde is usually your guy. So maybe because we are forced to cover a couple of extra spots right now in the current setup, that might be the reason that we are giving Fede Valverde this freedom, first off. And second, that changing position that we keep talking about. Might just be those two things.
Well, the
But
point is this, like, I mean, I can get the point. When I'm playing against the Man Cities, the Bayern Munichs, for
mhm,
sure, I want to have this cover. Fine and good. I
mhm,
mean, we've seen that even with Carlo Ancelotti and Gareth Bale, like, he asked Gareth Bale to cover, when we played against Bayern Munich, like,
mhm.
Gareth Bale was, like, literally, both the full.
Literally, what Fede is doing now. I've seen.
Exactly, right? So that's the thing. But I mean, it shouldn't be against Al Hilal or it shouldn't be against Mallorca. I mean, okay, although we lost to Mallorca, fine and good, but I mean, that's not what should be happening. It shouldn't be in these games. This is my point. I totally get what you're saying, you do. I mean, it's not in these games that we should be seeing.
Well, yeah, that's I think what works against Carlo, who is in theory and in reality 95% of the time that he is loved by the large majority of fans. Like even even when things aren't going too well, you kind of feel for Carlo because we have known through multiple sources over the past month or so that he was asking for reinforcements. He was asking for proactiveness in the market, and
Yeah.
how the board was kind of against it and stuff. So, but this is the thing that goes against him, that being conservative against weaker opposition, and despite us being conservative, we end up losing. That's when fans lose it. That's when I lose it, at least. So um, yeah, with Fede, it is an ongoing experiment. That experiment resulted in him, bagging the Champions League winning assist. Let's not get it twisted. I hope he has a similar year. These last 6 months is going to actually tell a very um, much awaited conclusion to actually finding out what his future holds in the starting 11. But like the only question is his position, right? Like
Mm.
the only question remaining is his position. His inclusion in the setup is out of the question. Like he is bang on a starter. So yeah, before we move on to Rodrigo and Vinicius, there's like 30 odd of you in the chat, man. Smash the like button. And if you're new, don't forget to subscribe, turn on the notification bell on so that when we schedule a live, you guys know about it right away. And if you don't know already, we are available on all major audio platforms. Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you name it. So yeah, if you wanna listen to us on the go,
Also,
we got
people
it
in the
covered.
chat, back me up. Sunaid is kind of against saying. I mean, Farouk is pretty much saying that we've given up hopes of La Liga. People in the chat, people watching us, just drop me a comment saying, yeah, we're still fighting, or what your thoughts are of our La Liga. How of our title chances. Just let us know. Let us know.
You're just
Let's
looking for validation at this point.
I
Right?
am, yeah, because
Like, you're doing,
I
just
know
trying
the
to
fans
find
of the
something
world.
somewhere, man.
I know that the fans of the world, the people watching us, still are. I know they'll back me up. We're still in the fight, man. We're not giving up this easy. We've just started February. How can we give up now? There's so many matches coming up. Barca is dropping points. Just wait for it. Yeah.
The guys have
I hope that's
is
the
it
case.
7 goals or 8 goals? Barca scored 7 or 8 goals. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
See that?
Five
So
or
I don't.
something, no? Yeah, I don't know. Five or something.
Ashley is asking the real questions. He's asking. There's only me in the chat today. What's up with that? He's calling for the tribe to be active. La Liga over. Haven't you all learned from last season? It ain't over until it's over. I get it. The only thing I say about La Liga is that I'm pretty sure football is a funny game. As dominant as Barcelona has been looking, I've seen a few of their matches. They tend to steamroll opposition for large parts, but they also ride out their luck. They have been blessed with a few key decisions going their way. I'm not gonna get into that. Also, injuries, keeping all their players fit, um, taking part in the second tier competition in the fucking Europa League. That's
I
also
saw
one.
I saw a stat yesterday that was showing that Mark Andrews Ter Stegen was actually outperforming his expected XG by around, I think,
Yeah, he's
seven
playing out of
goals,
his skin.
something like this.
Yeah. Ter
I think he's
Stegen, ever since his hair transplant went well, I think he came to your place also, Farouk. I suggest you should also pay a visit. You never know. But yeah, he has been insane this season. Yeah, props to Ter Stegen. But yeah, man. So the earlier point I was trying to make, I see Barca dropping points, but I see us dropping way more points. That is the prediction that I have, because you can afford to do that when you're flying, right? When you're not so consistent, but you have a good gap, you can afford to do that. But in our shoes, it is just not ideal, especially with all these competitions that we have, ongoing. Let's get into our number nine, false nine tonight, Rodrigo. Um, I've I've said countless times that yes, he can do a false nine job, but he needs a Karim Benzema to play off. He, like, for him to be an effective 10 or 9.5, he needs someone like Benzema to play off. He had that in Vinny tonight. I think their combinations were just icing on the cake. Great understanding, great movement on and off the ball. Rodrigo is just so fucking direct, man. It just stimulates me like nobody else. You know, uh, I can't just find another way I can describe it. This man, whenever he tries to take on somebody, I just get the goosebumps that I used to feel with people like Gareth Bale. Like, I'll be honest, Vinicius, yes, it's expected. Vinicius is gonna be your tricky winger, but with Rodrigo, might be bias. You can actually call it as bias, but whenever I see Rodrigo uh, cooking, it is different. Especially that chance in the first half where he got the ball from Vinny and then almost dinked it over the keeper. I think hit the woodwork on the left side and went out. But um, yeah, eventually in the second half, his combination with Ceballos, who actually came on, was sensational. Two back heels linking up together. Stuff of dreams. Honestly, you can only
FIFA goal, man. What the fuck?
yeah,
That
you can
was
only score.
amazing.
I don't think you can score like a much more satisfying goal than that. Like it just looked like poetry in motion. Just you just you just know that Ceballos has genuinely staked a claim to be in the mix. When you see such things, just happen. I never would have thought, I could say stuff like this about Ceballos, but this goes to show again, we haven't gotten to Ceballos, but it goes to show how much the squad kind of trusts this guy. And yeah, man, big up Rodrigo. In the absence of Karim, he absolutely stepped up tonight. Farouk, man, take it away.
definitely, man, for sure. Like, he was my man of the match. Personally, I think he was the best performer on the pitch. I was just wondering, like, Edu, who was Sofa's man of the match? Can you remember? You remember?
Vinicius was the
Um,
official man of the match, if I'm not mistaken.
I mean, the point is, as you said, like, the moves he makes, even the way, he turns and directly, heads on, because, like, Vini is someone who likes to take you on from an angle, he comes through the wing and tries to, go in diagonally, but, like, that directness that you're alluding to with Rodrigo is something else. And I think, I've said this before, like, I mean, if you're gonna go back to the traditional 4-2-3-1 formation, with that number 10, or like, I don't know what it's gonna be like, 4-4-2 with two strikers, as a supporting striker. Like, I think Rodrigo is the guy. Honestly, I really do think that guy is much more of a central player than a winger. Honestly, like, oh yeah,
But like whenever I see him on the wing as well, like he's direct, man. Like he doesn't
I
hold
feel
back.
like even on the wing, man, he has that tendency to drift to the central positions, man. And
Yeah,
I mean,
obviously. But
he's
when
playing.
when he starts, like, I don't know, some people have the sentiment now, like very very recently, that he is much more of a 10 or a second striker. But when you if you actually watch him closely on the wing as well, he's just as effective.
Definitely, but the point here is that he has that tendency to be in the right place at the right time. He has a knack for that. How can I say the plays, a productive plays? For example, Vinicius even till now still has that that tendency of being flashy without being productive. I don't know if that makes sense. But with Rodrigo, you always have the sense that he always does something for not for doing sake, but because there is a chance to get something out of that. I don't know if I make sense there, but I just feel like like he has that. I don't know what the word would be. I don't want to use the word instinct, but I don't know. He has that instinct for for being creative or being on the end of something as well. I mean, not to take away that Vini doesn't have that, but I don't know. I just feel like Rodrigo might just be that person. That central player. Right? I feel like uh yeah, as I said, like if you're gonna go back to that, that 10.5 position, that 9.5 position, I think like Rodrigo is someone who is much more suited to that than playing on the right, because as we know, like he prefers to play on the left. Vini plays on the left, so he plays on the right. So I think instead of shoehorning him into the right, like playing him through the middle, or like as not through the middle, brother, but as as a supporting striker, or as a number 10 or 10.5, will be something to go with. Will be the way forward, maybe. But I said, in my opinion, like he was the man of the
In
match.
my Yeah, like I agree to most stuff you said. So just one thing I would like to add is that I hope uh, the the coaching staff, obviously they are much more well informed than us. They see these players day in day out. They know what they prefer. They know what the team needs much better than us. Who kind of break it down after it unfolds. These guys tries to predict what will happen on the pitch, right? So for me at least, one prayer that I have is that the coaching staff shouldn't tinker too much, and maybe completely like flip the system into, like, they've tried it, and completely adopt the 4-2-3-1 kind of thing, and play Rodrigo behind Benzema and stuff like that. Yeah, on a one-off game which needs that is fine. But if we kind of adapt that and completely bin the 4-3-3, the free flowing 4-3-3, which has fetched us a double last season, it is going to be catastrophic. I don't think the players have enough time to gel, have enough time to
We don't
understand.
have the we don't have the players for that. We don't have a players to play the 4-2-3-1. Because the first question becomes, who do you play on the right wing? Is it Marco Asensio? Then what happens to Fede Valverde? What happens to the midfield? Do you throw out Kroos in the team and play Chouameni and
I
Modric?
would much rather have Rodrigo on the bench and him coming on in the 70th than completely fucking up the opposition. That's what I need.
We can play a 4-2-3-1 actually. I mean, nah. I mean, most likely, I mean, well, how can I say, like a 3-5-2 might be, with two strikers or whatever. Like, well, I don't think we can play with.
We're not playing three at the back anymore. No, no, no,
Yeah,
no, no,
we
no.
will not play three at the back, but
Yeah, I have
at
enough
least, yeah.
nightmares of that. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
But
the point is the chances we concede. I do genuinely feel like a back three of Nacho, Alaba, and Militao will be the way forward, in my opinion. Like, I don't know.
bro, I don't think so. I don't think so, man. We don't
Tough.
do the three at the back. And I'm not a fan of the three at the back. When we are winning, it looks okay, but when we are losing, it
That's
looks
the thing, like, actually, the one misconception I think a lot of people have is that a three at the back formation is a defensive formation, which I want to say I
it
don't
is
share.
not a defensive formation. I play it on FIFA. It is the most attacking formation out there. It is just insanely attacking. But if it goes wrong, it would end up in mercy
Overrunning,
goal line.
overrunning, left wing,
That
right
is
wing
just
being
fine.
overrun. That's the issue.
Yeah. Like
We
I don't like, we need someone like fucking Hakimi
yeah.
on that caliber to be on the wing. Like we can't even have, what example can you yeah, Reece James might do the trick, but you get the range. Like you can't have a good right back or a good left back or a good wing back. You need the top of the top,
Premier
players.
like
But yeah, man, Rodrigo. fantastic, man. Honestly,
So one more stat before we move on from Rodrigo. He had 5 attempts on goal today. So, you know,
yeah. If he
quite
if he
amazing.
if he did actually back the goal, I would have been saying it slightly differently because he had many chances. That's one
Yeah.
guy I'm having with him recently is the fact that he gets way more chances and he is a much more clinical finisher than Vinicius. I expect him to bury most of them, you know.
No
So
quality chances, but we're not taking anything away from the defense. From Ahly, from their goalkeeper, who's been actually quite fantastic. Even guessing, even saving Luka Modric penalty. Let's take nothing away from him because he
yeah,
had 2 or 3 saves to do from the 20th minute all the way up until the 30th minute. I think he made like 4 saves in those 10 minutes. So yeah, let's take nothing away from him. So yeah, now we
yeah,
can move. Now we can move on from Rodrigo. I just had to get that in.
absolutely. I mean, yeah, like you could say, the goalkeeper was kind of playing on roids with that save. But yeah, moving on to Vinicius Yadu, your take, man. With Vinicius, I've been saying that he needs to kind of zip up and do the talk, let the football do the talking rather than
Yeah,
you know. But some people have said, and I've had like a full-fledged debate with one of my mates, like who had the sentiment that the media is after him, the players are after him, they are being reckless. To which I said, far superior players, the greats of the game has been always they have been always kicked to death. You know, if you go look at previous footage, of people like Maradona, they were slaughtered. They let their feet do the talking. No matter what the occasion is, what kind of referee it is, be it the European competitions or La Liga, people are going to kick you. But if you try to one up them, it's a never ending cycle which is not going to stop. That is my only thing. He did that today as well. I didn't know what was the need, but from a purely footballing perspective, he was really good. He was unplayable, borderline unplayable. Like the goal was a perfect example. Like what Vinicius and Rodrigo offers in the front line is that much needed relentlessness. Yes, okay. I had a fit, but yes, that is the word that comes to my mind because our midfield might look a little laid back, but when it's Rodrigo and Vinicius kind of running at you, like trying to press you, it's one of the worst nightmares you can face as a defender. And that goal perfectly summed it up. The beautiful dink, the perfect weight of the dink, completely caught out the goalkeeper who was having a very good game up until that point, man. Yeah, so Vinicius Yadu impressed.
impressed. Yes, Vinicius. Let's put the facts first. One of the most creative players in the world right now. No arguments there. One of the fastest. No arguments there. One of
14 goals already up for the season as
Yeah,
the winger.
and people are saying that he's having an off season, like 14 goals and 6 assists. How is that an off season? Anyway,
Mm.
moving on. One of the things that has been exposed this season is how vulnerable Vinny is to taunts from the other
Yeah.
players. And in a game of football, you always, always, always try to get your opponent cards. And Vinny will come up against much, much worse than this.
Mm.
He's faced a lot from
Yeah.
Atletico so far. He's faced it from the players, from the fans, from the press, from media, from international races. I don't even know, from Twitter, whatever can make him angry. They've been trying, and yeah, they will keep trying. And there will be opponents who will always try to make him angry, get him cards, take him effectively out of the game to just just stop him running at them. If that's the last thing that they can do apart from fouling him, they will keep doing that. And I think Vinny has to adapt to just walk away from some confrontations. Some of them aren't worth it. Why are you picking a fight with Al Ali when you're winning 3-1? Vinny, bro, it's okay, chill. Yeah, but it doesn't happen. He's a young player. He's playing at the top of the game. He's a superstar in the making. I would argue a superstar right now. And yeah, some of those confrontations you can't walk away. But yeah, he should. He probably should. He probably should. And
I see. I've said this before as well. I see parallels of me at 23 with Vinny. I used to be a guy who used to pick fights which I could have
used
easily.
to.
Yeah,
He says
I mean,
used to,
I
Farooq.
think. Well, you will be glad that you didn't see me at 2023.
Fair enough. Fair
I'll
enough.
tell you that for a fact. But Farooq, do you share the same sentiment? Like, can Vinicius be a little more laid back and let the football do the talking? Like we can't discount the fact that he has been attacked from all angles. I'm not saying he hasn't been attacked, but we have been watching football for the best part of a decade or more, right? All the best players, they get the same treatment, right? I think the racism aspect is what kind of pushes this over the edge. But even then, Ronaldinho played in the same league. Nazario played in the same league. Edgar Davids played in the same league. They all got booed. They had monkey chants aimed at them as well. So I don't get it. I get the fact that we need to be feeling sorry for him. Yes, I do. But him being such a bright young talent, this shouldn't be affecting his game as much as it has been.
I personally think this. The point is just like there is a racism case, right? Which I've always said, like the I think even Real Madrid as an institution isn't doing enough to protect Vinicius from the racism thing. And I think at a certain point in time, you don't want to generalize and say, oh, Spanish people are racist. But the point is when this keeps happening and happening and happening, and no one is doing that shit about it.
Places like Spain can't be rid of racism, man. It just can't happen.
I mean, the point is this, Sunaid, like, I mean, right now, Real Madrid don't allow certain ultras to come to the team. Barcelona doesn't do the same thing. Atletico Madrid allows them to come to the team. Around half of the league still allow this racist ultras to join the team. What's La Liga doing about it? Yeah. I mean, the point is, in England right now, when someone says something racist, they literally grab him by the neck and give him to the police. The fans do this. Obviously, England cannot be rid of racism as well. But the point is, I am in the stand and someone is being racist by my side. I'm going to grab him and throw him to the door.
Let's look at that this way. England is a very good point, but compare the cultural diversity of UK and the Spain. Spain is a very closed community. It has a large community of Arab immigrants and stuff like that.
That's the point I'm trying to make to you.
But the racism in Spain is much more deep-rooted.
I'm not asking football to eliminate racism. I'm saying to you that we're in a stadium that has about 1,000 cameras. If someone is saying something or is making a chant, you can easily find him if you want to.
Yeah.
If you want to. You understand? That's the key thing. As I said, like Real Madrid as an institute have a drill in their hand, but even they, in my opinion, aren't doing as much to protect this. But then it always goes back to what I believe personally is that I cannot ask a white man to protect the rights of a black person because he needs to be in that position to understand what it means, to Vinicius to feel that he's 22, he came from Brazil, he's literally, one of the best players in the world at this point in time, and people still, reduce him to this. Like, I mean, I wouldn't, I know that someone like Carlo, no matter how, how good intention he is, he wouldn't be able to understand that. Perez wouldn't be able to understand what it means to Vini, you understand? That's the racism on one side, you understand? I'm not asking football to cure racism, but things could be done more to protect Vini. On the other hand, let's come to the Vinicius thing. I've said this before. Vini hangs around Neymar a lot. And honestly, I really do hope it doesn't happen.
Oh.
Because the point is, you rightly pointed out this, Sunaid. The first player I fell in love with as a fan was Ronaldinho. I swear to God. And everyone I know, okay, now football has changed, but I knew that when I was growing up, everybody loved the flair players. Be it Dino, be it Ronaldo, in the later years, the likes of Ronaldinho, you go to, England, everyone loved Henry while I was growing up in Nigeria. Everyone loved Henry. Everyone loved Beckham because we love the flair players, We love the flair players, and these players get kicked 1 million times, but they never go down. They get pulled, but they still keep on working. They keep They keep on, doing their thing. Like that's the thing. I mean, whatever Neymar is doing that people say it's disrespect, it's nothing compared to what Dino has done in football. I mean, Dino was doing training shit stuff on the pitch, man. The rainbow flick, all this. I mean, that's nothing for Dino, man. He was doing it to defenders, and they were laughing after he minutes them. It's a whole different ballgame now. But now the point is that someone is 21, he has millions of dollars, and this and that. So there's a lot of sense of entitlement there. But I feel like for Vinicius, there isn't that person that's bringing him back down to earth. I feel that's maybe one of the reasons why. I don't know, but really, like, he really needs to, just in this case.
I don't know. See, I actually told this analogy to my mate who was having this discussion with, and she said, this is not relevant to what Vinicius is facing. All I said is that Vinicius can adopt a simple tactic that we used to use as children, in school, how we used to deal with bullies. Basically, if we give bullies enough attention, they're going to feed off of it, right? Like, if we just ignore them and kind of at least try to put up a front that shows, well, you guys can do your thing, you won't affect me. It will be a much more, smart battle.
Here's the difference, Sunil. But let's take that point and consider Vinicius's replies. Vinny has said, "Okay, shut up. I earn much more than you." Fair point. Vinny has also said, "Hey, shut up. We're winning 3-1. I'm going to put a goal." Vinny has said, "Okay, shut up. I'm overrunning you in every attack." Also, fair point. He's right. And he's getting bullied. So he's showing it first, or he's still raising to temptations, but it is what it is. It will keep happening though, which Vinny knows, which the training staff knows, which players like Benzema, players like Luka Modric, players like Toni Kroos have grown up with.
People need to speak to him. You need to just spend that energy that you are arguing with the random guys into the football.
Maybe it fires him up, you never know. But yeah, he is hoping it turns into more goals.
I won't deny that this gives him an extra incentive to, take the piss out of them. But do it after you shut them up, after we win. Do whatever the fuck you want. Like, if we are 3-0 up and you go fighting with people, fine. But when the match is still to be played, there is a contest still going on. You shouldn't pull yourself into unnecessary fights, man. But that is just me, honestly. I just can't accept the fact that he allows this to happen and he gets sucked into this mental battle with all these people. I just don't like the feel of it. But that is just me. Yeah, man. I guess that is pretty much Vinicius in a nutshell. He is insane when he is on it. Like tonight. But even when he is on it, I don't know why. See, like, when you have an off day, like, even in life, us common men, when we have an off day, we tend to get easily agitated. It's quite normal, but I just can't understand, like what you said, Yadu, earlier, when you're leading, when you're having a good day out, why do you get, agitated? Why do you get so annoyed? I guess it's just age, and I hope, with age he can iron out that side of his game.
Well, that's this doesn't go with age. The point is now, Neymar is maybe the most kicked footballer in Europe.
Yeah.
But the point is that
Neymar, apart from Barcelona, played in club.
Yeah, go on, man. Go on.
No. I was just saying, Neymar played in Barcelona. I think in Barcelona it would have been, like, he's obviously behind Messi, Xavi, Puyol in the hierarchy. So he was still a kid there. But ever since he came to PSG,
have you forgotten what happened against Athletic Bilbao, against Villarreal? Like, I can name at least 5 teams that Neymar had a fight with. There was a Villarreal thing where he was trying to do rainbow flick. There was a Bilbao game where he was dribbling one after the other, and someone literally kicked him and got a
Yeah,
red card.
I remember.
When he went to Paris, obviously it became excavated, but even at Barcelona, it was there.
That's the thing. Neymar got double-footed much more times than Vini has been tackled.
So that's
It's
the thing.
mad.
That's what I'm saying to you. Like now, actually, Neymar is actually getting kicked, but because he already created that personality, that aura of that, okay, like this is the kind of person I'm gonna dive, I'm gonna fight, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, Now it's just like Neymar is kicked. Oh, that's normal, it's nothing. And now Neymar becomes an afterthought, That's the thing. Like even if Vini continues down this trajectory, he's gonna remain a fantastic footballer like Neymar is, but he's gonna be an afterthought. This is the problem. Like once the name follows you, it follows you forever and ever, man. That's the thing.
Yeah, you shouldn't build up a reputation, man. Honestly, we see so many young kids.
I mean,
doing the
we
same.
can name a case in point, man. Robinho, man.
Yeah.
Robinho was supposed to be the next Dino. Where is Robinho?
Yeah. But see, this is the only faith that I have, that he is in the right hands. Vinny is at a club that doesn't tolerate nonsense. I think the club is doing its best, but I think the club and the hierarchy also knows he is a growing kid. So I'm pretty confident that he wouldn't go the Neymar route. If he goes the Neymar route, like he won't be here for long. But yeah, when Ashik comes up with something witty as always. Neymar is the most kicked footballer because he had a cameo in the stupid Vin Diesel movie. That's a crime. Facts.
I actually have a question for you guys though. Like there was a foul on Vini in the penalty box that led to a corner kick, and like the VAR review said like there was nothing, and the ref didn't go to the monitor. Is it just me, or was the man literally kicked off the floor? I don't know if you guys remember that.
No, because
I remember the occurrence. So you're asking me if it was a genuine foul?
I mean, wasn't that the precedent for a penalty? Like when someone kicks you and doesn't catch the ball, then you get the penalty?
Yeah, I think that was the case. Do you think it was unjust?
There was no penalty there. The ref didn't even go to the monitor.
I know, but the players are definitely going to appeal, man. Like, what do you expect? Let's quickly move on. Like, honestly, VAR decisions. Like, I'm tired. We need to give the last 5 to 10 minutes to our substitutions. Danny Ceballos, we have given our fair share of plaudits for him. I don't think we need to spend much time, but let's talk a bit about Arribas, man. Whenever I've seen this kid, no matter what the level it has been, be it the second division, be it playing with us, going all the way back to Zidane's second stint with us, this man is honestly something special, and there is a reason that he is pipped to be the guy that breaks out from the academy next, before anyone else. And Farouk, I'm going to come to you. Do you think the hype is actually real with this kid?
Honestly, I can't make a very definitive comment, but the only thing I can say to here is that if he has a bit of brains in his head, he's going to find a club and exit ASAP. That's just the thing I can say, because the point is the person that doesn't look good for him at all. Not at all. It doesn't look good at all.
On loan.
There was the game, the first round of the Copa del Rey, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember the name of the team, but it was a third tier.
That's Sereno.
Yeah. And we were playing with, I don't know, man. I mean, if we had the Champions League final, most likely half of that team would have played in that game.
So, it's the trademark of a Don Carlo team, isn't it? Rotations can suck it, more or less, to put it plainly.
I mean, so that's the thing. I mean, because the point is honestly and you guys know, for footballers, it's a very small window.
Yeah.
After 18, 19, if you're not at a good team, there are just a handful of players who have this break.
But trust me, Farouk, I get your pessimism, because going off by evidence, we can't be confident about Arribas's chances with us. But I'll tell you something: the way this kid has been performing, and keeping his head down and going about his business. Ever since he broke into the first team under Zidane, he has been working. It's been 3 long years. You said it yourself that footballers have a very small career, and 3 years is a long time. For him to wait this long and for the club to be this patient, I'm pretty sure that he has a bright future with us. That I'm just going by what I'm seeing with this particular scenario involving Sergio Arribas, is that the kid is definitely worth the hype. He is the perfect modern midfielder. Can defend when needed, can get stuck in, can put assists on a plate, can score.
You're planning to spend 150 million pounds on another midfielder around the same age with him, then what's going to happen then?
Okay, couple of stats to back up both of your claims. 22 appearances this season, 9 goals, 7 assists. He's 21 years old. He has 3 yellow cards, and he has a contract with Real Madrid until 2025. So he's playing in Castilla.
How old is Jude? Jude is 22, right?
Yeah. Bellingham is 22, 23, yeah. On the fence.
See, but midfield is a very stacked position, we might think now.
And also Sergio Arribas' main position, attacking midfield. Other positions RW, LW. So young, can be molded, plays 3 positions. All in all,
Arribas looks like the real leader, honestly. I just think he is the best academy graduate, I think, since probably Hakimi. I think the club is going to give him a fair shot next season. I think if circumstances allow it, he might get a shot this season, because this goal is going to turn heads. It is the fastest goal scored by a substitute.
Okay.
Can we call someone to pour some cold water on Sunaid? Sunaid is dreaming, man.
Wait, Farouk. Statistics. Sergio Arribas today. Minutes played. Wait. I need to tell this to our viewers, to our listeners. Sergio Arribas today. Minutes played 1. Goals 1. Assists 0. Touches 1, and that's it. Every other stat is 0.
Going back to Farouk, what was he on about? What are you on about?
Wake up, man. You were saying Sergio Arribas is going to get his breakthrough this season, man. I'm saying to you, wake up, man. We need to pour some cold water on you, man.
I'm just hoping for the kid, honestly, because a talent like that, it doesn't come across every now and then, So we got to cherish what we have and kind of mold him into, the next big thing. He's a man who has come up all the way through the academy. He knows the club inside out. I think we have definitely Nacho is a character. Nacho, when I used to see Nacho in 2016 when he scored that banger in the Copa del Rey and stuff, I used to think, yeah, he's another academy graduate. But now we look at Nacho differently. But Nacho had to bide his time, sift through at least a couple of dynasties to actually come out on the other side, right? But Arribas, I think, is going to be the case of someone like Raul Gonzalez. And it's been a long time coming. We haven't had such a prolific academy player since Raul, at least in the attacking department. Carvajal is a good shout as well, future captain as well. But Arribas, I think, if integrated into the first team, right, he's gonna come good, But yeah, man, what do you think? Like, can we be confident at least next season he gets a fair shout?
He will get some rotation time, that's for sure. At least if he continues his performance in the Castilla as he does
He only needs to do Kamavinga 21-22. That's it.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. He's just...
man.
No. Hear me out.
You just say only, Sunaid. Like what Kamavinga did, man, was on a different level, man. Don't use only, man.
No.
You said the same thing about Kamavinga last year. You were naysaying that, this man, I don't know, I don't know if he can turn up. Bro, you have to put him in a situation to turn up.
What I'm saying to you now is that saying that what Kamavinga did was only, that's underplaying it, man. What Kamavinga did wasn't only, man. Put some respect to that. because he
Okay.
came to the bench and all that.
Look at this guy. Look
I mean,
at this guy.
I'm not.
Anyway,
I mean, for sure, I know you guys
shameless. Fucking shameless.
more than I do. What he has done last series in England.
No. Different scenario. I don't expect Arribas to come out of the gate, play a UCL match from the 70th minute, make all the difference in the world, get us a trophy. No, that's not my expectation for Arribas. I want him to come out in La Liga matches against lower oppositions where we get two-footed every fucking minute, and they get out without a card. And I want him to come in at the 70th minute at tired legs and do some running around here and there, make a difference, and then slowly build up his reputation in the team and then stick on. Like that's all I expect from Arribas. It's it's what he's been doing for Castilla 100% as a starting player, and to convert that into the first team would be kind of amazing. And
See,
one of the
Also,
ways you can
don't
stick
you guys
on.
don't misunderstand me here. I'm not saying that he can't do that. I'm saying that he can, and we've
Yeah.
seen players do that. But what I'm just saying is that maybe he can't do it at Real Madrid because we don't give that platform to them.
That's
This is
true.
my. I'm not saying that he's a bad player. I mean,
The competition is high
it's not
in
about
the
the
best
competition. We don't
in the
give
best club in the world. It's no surprise.
exactly. I mean, we don't give the chance no more. That's the point, here. Because as I've
Fair.
said, like you can look at all our fullbacks, the right backs and the left backs. They all have gone on to do very well. All of them. But we just haven't given them the chance to do anything. That's the point.
let's put it this way, yeah. As fans, we know what the situation in midfield is like, right? These guys who have been biding their time, they know it as well. But I'll tell you this for a fact. Unlike Kamavinga, right? Unlike Danny Ceballos, Arribas, if he breaks into the first team, is going to be something akin to Chouameni. He'll be that smooth. I'm going to tell you this. You heard this here first, because he is someone that has been waiting on the sidelines for way too long. And I think Arribas is ready, man. Honestly, he is ready. Whenever I've seen him, he looks ready. I hope I'm proven right. But Tas Aliba in the comments says, did you see the face of Ancelotti when Arribas scored? Eyebrows were sending messages like, fuck, I gotta play him now. Facts, man. Yeah, man.
He looked kind of proud though. He just sent him out just for the vibes,
someone
just for
who
a
has
vibe
seen
check.
it all. Yeah, someone who has seen it all, done it all. For him to be surprised, Arribas did something mad tonight. Like I'm pretty sure, like even if he didn't score that goal, like he would definitely be in the plans next season. But this makes him a priority now. Hopefully,
Yeah.
the club kind of wakes up at least, regarding Arribas. But yeah, man. Through to the Club World Cup final, we have a tough opponent in Al Hilal. It's not going to be easy. Al Hilal is also one of the most successful clubs in the AFC Champions League. I think only behind Al Ahly as well. Al Hilal, based in Riyadh. It was one of the biggest clubs while I was growing up in Saudi Arabia. They have some quality players. Salim El Dosari, the guy who scored the goal against Argentina, he scored I think yesterday as well. They're not going to be an easy pushover. They're going to give it their all. If they win this, it's going to be proper history for them. So we can expect a proper battle. And also we need to kind of fight against Kroos as well, because man has more Club World Cups than us. He has 5, we have like 4 or something. So
We have 4 exactly. Yeah.
Would be happy, man. Would be happy for the club to actually add some silverware. Last year when we won the Supercopa España, I was sitting here going, why? The panel was sitting here wondering, why should we celebrate it? But we got to know in the end that winning breeds winning, and that winning a trophy which might be small would actually give us some much needed confidence. We need it dire this time around. Tas Saliba says, when he scored, I remembered once, I remember Ronaldo's message. I think he's saying, if you remember, it was something like one chance, one goal, bang. Yeah, one chance, bang. That is what Cristiano's saying, I think, Cristiano's gesture, basically, after the goal against Juve, the second goal, Modric assist. Come on, take me back, man. Brilliant final that was. But I guess that is a wrap for the post-match, man.
Couple of things.
Yeah.
Couple of things. Al Hilal is the third Asian team to reach the Club World Cup final, which is kind of great for them. Let's not sleep on them.
The first Asian team, right?
Third Asian team. As in,
okay.
Categorically.
So maybe I read it wrong. I think they are the first AFC Champions League winner. So probably the third Asian team.
Yeah,
maybe
third
someone
Asian
who
team in
didn't get the
history.
Champions League made it before them.
Okay, so the third Asian team in history to be there, and they won their semi-final 3-2 over Flamengo. Over Flamengo, big upset.
Who were arrogant, who were actually calling us out. People like fucking David Luiz was calling us out, I think, a couple of months ago. We need Real Madrid. We are coming for you. You know, we'll show you who the real champs are. But unfortunately, you didn't even make the fucking final. So, yeah, man, serves them right.
More Salah vibes, man. That's just it. They should learn their lessons.
Arturo Vidal, I think, also keeps calling us out whenever he gets a chance. And
he plays for Flamengo now?
Something like that, right? I think so.
Wow. The man used to play for the greats. Now he's down there, yeah?
Whenever he calls us out, we just end up winning the whole thing. It's just kind of nice, yeah. I hope he calls us out for everything.
I guess Tas Aliba says, so Arribas next, Ronaldo. I wish, man. I wish.
Let him cook. So we're back Saturday, guys, for the post-match Club World Cup final. Hopefully silverware for the season starting, number one and all of that. Yeah, please, Vinay, sign us out and we'll take it from there.
A couple of things. Check out our partners, Real Madrid Committee on Instagram. Their link is in the description. They run a brilliant Madrid fan page. Also, for all the guys in the chat, love for the love, man, for sticking with us for over like 90 minutes. It's been a long one. We do this for you guys. Like if you enjoy what we do get involved in the comments, man. Like we need to have a to and fro conversation. That's what actually makes this much more enjoyable. And smash the like button on the way out. If you're new here, don't forget to smash the subscribe button as well. Turn on the notification bell on so that you guys know when we are on next time. Also, if you want to, listen to us on the go, we are available on all audio platforms: Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you name it. We recently crossed 15K plays on our audio platforms. So yeah, man, love for the love. It's honestly been a wild ride, ever since we came together to, do this podcast. We also have the big Liverpool preview. Hopefully, it'll be the Sunday before we travel to Anfield. I think it'll be the 19th or 20th. We'll confirm the date ASAP. Grizz will be back from the final preview from last year. I'll guarantee you that we'll have much more chest than last year, because it was a final. We had to kind of pace ourselves, but this time around, I'm not going to hold back. Scousers, we are coming for you. On that note, Hala Madrid.
Hala Madrid, guys. See you soon.